welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and you guys, we're doing a foundation test. I know my eyes look a little crazy, it's for another video. Don't worry, in good time, my brothers and my sisters. So, let's talk about stick foundation. You guys, you know I love a good foundation wear test. I'm excited. This is, I think it's new, but I don't have any way to back that claim up, so it's new to me is what I guess we can go with. I think it really is new. It is the All Hours Stick Foundation from YSL. I got an email for this and I picked up the shade B10 Porcelain and I thought we would give it a shot. Now while I was there, I also picked up a concealer in 0.5 Vanilla. I don't know if it will work or not, but we're just gonna kind of dive into both. I haven't even opened them, so I don't know. Let's see what we can get into here. Ooh, okay, so this is the packaging for the YSL. You get 0.32 ounces. Where is my hourglass? Because you know the first thing I'm going to do is compare product here. This is 0.25 ounces for Hourglass, so it looks like, although this one looks a lot bigger, you actually do get a little bit more product with the YSL, so that's cool. And now let's go ahead and read a little bit about this. The first thing I'm noticing, I am on the YSL website, by the way, so that's where all my information is coming from. There are 19 shades, and if I'm being honest, the shade range is not that great. There's a ton of light to, or like fair to medium tones, but when it gets to the deep tones, there's only 4, and they don't seem to be that deep to me. So I don't know, but then in the fair section, all the undertones look really weird to me. So I'm just not impressed so far with what I'm seeing on their website for a shade range, but nonetheless, that's just my opinion. And this is $48 to purchase it, so it is definitely not cheap. It says, let's get down to business. Where is the information? It says, ready for action. YSL is the expert in long wear foundation that lasts all day and night. With a velvet soft and flawless finish at your fingertips, now you can be matte for hours. We've got you covered. And on the side of the container, I don't know where that girl came from, but on the side of the thing here, it says it's a hybrid cream to powder texture that blends effortlessly onto the skin for buildable medium to full coverage, non-cakey, weightless and comfortable velvet matte finish, up to 24 hours wear and waterproof all day shine control. It says use as a foundation, as a concealer for touch-ups on the go, or a contour stick. So that's that. Let's do it, you guys. Sorry, that was a little aggressive. I'm just like, bah! But as I said before, I picked up the shade B10. Okay. Let's just do it. I'm not one of those people that's like, wow, I look like I got punched in the eyes. It looks really pretty though, I promise. I don't know how it looks on camera yet because I'm not editing, but it looks really pretty in real life. Like it's just a really nice, sultry, smoky eye moment. I live. Anyways, I am going to go ahead and, oh, no, wait, no, I'm not. You guys, I almost forgot to tell you, I primed my face already. I did it off of camera to let it settle in and give it a minute. So on this half of the face, I went in with my Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For. I love this stuff so much. It's so good. And then on the other side of the face, I did go in with my Tatcha Silk Canvas just to try 2 different primers, you know, see kind of how we think, if there's a difference or whatnot. And then, of course, I set both with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water because I love this shit and it feels so good and so refreshing on the face. And your girl could use a little refreshment every now and again. So let's go ahead. My nose itches. Let's get this out of the way, okay? And let's just go in. Oh my god, I'm so excited. You guys, I love foundation tests. All right, let's scroll it all the way up. God, that just does not look like enough for 48 bucks, but maybe a little goes a long way. Who's to know? All right, so we're just gonna start by swiping. Let's start there. I swiped about 4 really light lines, and to get started, I am gonna use this flat top kabuki that has a cat hair on it. Come on now, sister, what are we doing here? And this is just the ColourPop flat top. Any flat top kabuki would work. I just want to see. Ooh. Wait, what smells so good? Oh, it's the stick foundation. Oh, girl, it smells like really rich lady perfume. A little strong, but it smells good. Okay, so it blends in really nicely, but there's no coverage. Like, there's literally no coverage here. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to need some more foundation. I'm not really sure. Why did it say buildable? Like, I have not seen anything build. Let's just keep going, I guess. Time to get a little bit more aggressive with how much we're putting on. And I want to try, you know what, I want to try my Beauty Blender this time and see if maybe I could press it into the skin, get it to look a little bit more full coverage. It does feel very nice and soft on the skin, which is really nice. It has like that, they were accurate when they said cream to powder like finish. That feels so nice. Okay, I got a little bit more coverage, I feel like. but definitely not full coverage by any means. And the Beauty Blender didn't pick up hardly any, which is good. But there's like no coverage. Like you can still see everything. It looks like I put on a really light BB cream. Like look at my face. Nothing. Two coats. Okay. 2 coats, people. All right. Let's try it, I guess, one more time. We're just going to keep building it up and see if we can make it work a little bit here. Hopefully, 3rd coat's the charm. All right. Still just my damp Beauty Blender going in. The problem is that when you have to build it up this much by itself, a lot of times you're going to get real cakey. And that's just not a look I'm really going for. Okay, whoever told them this is full coverage lied. That is not full coverage. You can still see a lot of like my redness poking through, like up under here. I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to say that this is light to medium buildable, and that is being generous. I don't think that if you like full coverage that you will enjoy this as much, because quite frankly, I don't think you're going to get full coverage. At this point, I can already tell you I would have to mix this in with a full coverage. Now, on the plus side, it does feel very nice. It is not super tacky, but it's definitely still damp feeling, so I will set this. But it does have a really nice powder finish to it, and it looks very smooth, so I'm trying to find the positives. So let's go ahead and do this side. And you guys know, too, like normally, when I add on foundation, especially from a stick foundation, I go, my swipes, it always looks like I do a lot, but my swipes are very light, and I'm like kind of going in, and I'm not getting very far here. So I don't know. This is not what I call full coverage, but I don't know. Maybe it'll just last really well and like make up for it. Ooh, this side looks really smooth. Okay, so it definitely goes over nicer where there is little to no texture. Because I feel like on this side, I don't have as bad of texture like over here. And it looks really nice. Like it just has a beautiful sheen to it. Or not sheen, I'm sorry. A beautiful like even finish to it. Ooh, looks pretty. Okay, let's go coat number 2 on this side. And it's blending in. Like you guys are watching this and it's blending in so quickly, which is nice. Like it's just a really quick, easy go-to moment. Ooh, it did a nice job on the nose, though. The nose looks really good. It like sits on and in the pores quite nicely. Okay, so this is where we're at so far, finished up blending everything in. I think it looks okay. Like I said, I let it be buildable to about medium coverage. It smooths over everything stunningly. Like I love how nice and smooth it's sitting on my nose, on like the cheek area. That looks so good. So now we're gonna go in. This I know is not new. I'll pull it up and see what it says, but this is their All Hours Concealer, which, okay, you'd think it would be like right here, but don't mind me while I go look for it. Rude. I think the Hours, that foundation must be new because it's under the new tab on their website. Not that that's relevant, I'm just saying. I like to be right, you guys. All right, and for the concealer, it looks like it comes in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 shades. Again, not my favorite shade range. They all look really weird on the website. Their website does not do a good job for color. But this is $34, and it says that it is a full coverage, creamy matte for all skin types, made with the finest pigments and ingredients. All Hours Concealer is oh, okay, blah, 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 none of that matters. Okay, concealer. 16-hour full cover concealer instantly and completely covers any skin imperfections, yet does not crease, crack, or look masky. The ultra smooth, creamy matte finish looks just applied all day. No touch-ups required. All Hours Concealer, okay, blah, 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 continues. These repeat themselves. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. Again, I picked up the shade 0.5, and we're just going to test it. Hopefully, it's light enough to work with this foundation. We shall see. Okay, that's not so bad. My main concern is how it's going to blend with it. Okay, it's actually almost the exact same color as the foundation. Lovely. I'm just going to take that little bit and blend it out because I'm not really sure if this is going to work. Because that foundation is like a super creamy kind of powder finish. And sometimes powders and liquids don't match so well. Oh, just kidding. I'm sorry. That looks kind of stunning. It's not as full coverage as, say, like the Tarte Shape Tape or anything like that, but it is gorgeous. Holy crap, that blends out so nicely. You guys, that looks so beautiful. Now again, you can still see like there's a fair amount of like darkness discoloration right in here. That I'm not living for as much, so it's not full coverage, at least not for me. My dark circles and like dark bags aren't even that bad, so I would call this also medium coverage, but it is beautiful. Like, I really enjoy that. Oh my god. I have a hair right here. While we're at it, can we talk about how in the last like 5-10 minutes, this foundation has just been like settling into my skin and it looks so beautiful. Just saying. So, okay, but we're already creasing, which is not normal or abnormal. My concealer creases almost instantly, but I want to show you guys another concealer. This is the Born This Way concealer, and I've been playing with this a lot, and I just want to show you the difference like in coverage that I'm talking about, because this, oh man. Like, girl, we gonna get some coverage today. So that's kind of the difference. Like, look at how much brighter and open and awake this whole side is, even this darkness down in here versus this side. Like, you can see a big difference. This side is smooth and it's nice and everything, but this is like full coverage, brightening, boom, stands out. This is in the shade Swan from the new Born This Way concealer. And again, this side, they're both very similar in color. This side just doesn't have that brightening, that illuminating, or quite as much coverage. And I really feel like that side by side, like if that doesn't show it, come on now, come on. Wow. So I'm going to go ahead, I am going to fix this side, and then we're going to move on to some powder. Yes, girl. Ooh, because we're going to put some of this down, and it takes such a little bit. Like, look at that. Like, that's, so, this stuff is so good. Almost forgot we have to do the other areas of the face real quick. Boom, 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 boom. I like to brighten up around my mouth and a little bit on the jawline. And I really like to just brighten the area around my mouth. I know I've said this a lot, but if you're new to my channel, I've always kind of felt like around my mouth area right here, it always looks a little bit dark. And I just don't like the way it oxidizes right there. And I don't know what it is, but I found that adding just a tiny bit of concealer and brightening up that area makes it look perfect throughout the day. And it stays nice and bright. It doesn't get weird. It doesn't start to break down. It just looks really flattering. So it's all about kind of knowing your face, your nose, what it likes, all that good stuff. You guys, everything looks so damn smooth. I like this so far. Aside from the lack of full coverage. So let's move on to some under eye powder so we can get everything setting and baking and all of that good jazz. Now, my under eye powder that is my favorite is the Maybelline Fit Me 05 Fair. I love this stuff. It sets in. It does a beautiful job, and I'll be damned if there's still not a cat hair on my freaking chin. All right, guys, I think I got it. I think we're good. So what was I going to say just now? I don't know. Maybelline 05 Fair, doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and re-pat out my under eyes because they crease instantly. It's just the way they are. If your eyes crease, it happens, guys. You know, people always say like, oh, it's the concealer. No, it's not. It's because my under eyes are the biggest bags. Like, you want to talk about having baggage. Mine is all under my eyes. Literally, they crease so quickly no matter what concealer I use, no matter what primer, no matter what anything. And you know what? It's okay that they crease because I pat them out right before I set them. You do not ever set a crease. If you set a crease, it's going to be there. You will never pat it out again. So then I go in with some of this powder and I just mash it right on into the under eye. And this powder is one of the most beautiful, like, smoothing powders ever. I love this powder so much for my under eye. Ugh. And it's drugstore. Like, come on. And then after I have it under the eyes, I go ahead and I press it. There's a hair in my beauty blender. I press it everywhere else that I put concealer because I feel like this powder does a great job at kind of minimizing texture and pores and all of that good stuff. So anywhere that I put concealer can look a little bit matted down or a little bit cakey. And by adding this powder in those areas, it works really nicely. Now, I have had people try and clock me. I look so good right now. I do have extra powder, excess powder on my face right now. People have tried to come after me for saying like, oh, Paige, you don't have to put that much powder on your face. You're over powdering, blah, blah, blah. And that is all personal preference. Sorry, my nose itches. That is all very, very personal for you. Like, this foundation, honestly, it's not tacky hardly at all. If you do not like to set a foundation, or you just don't, your face doesn't like it, your skin doesn't react well to it, you do not have to set this. I wouldn't say, like, there's very little coming off on my hand. It feels very lightweight. It doesn't feel goopy, cakey, anything like that. And it does have a very nice matte finish to it, but it's very naturally matte. Like down in this area right here, you can see there's no shine, but it doesn't look so matte like it stripped my face of any like hydration or anything. It just looks very nice and natural. So what I'm going to do, normally I would go in with my Airspun right now. I'm just going to take a little bit of this same powder and smooth it over the like planes of my face just to set it a little bit. I don't want to overset, but because I have such oily skin, I do have to set my entire face. And again, this is one of those things where you really have to get to know your face, your skin. Maybe some areas on your skin need to be set, maybe others don't. That's just all, again, personal preference and you getting to know your face. I refuse to be one of those people that gets on YouTube and says that this is the only way to do things, because quite frankly, that is one of my biggest pet peeves about YouTube. When YouTubers get on and they're like, don't do this. No, don't tell me what to do. You're not my real mom. Like, it drives me insane, because it's like, how do you know that that doesn't work really well for somebody? Like, I don't know. For me, it just annoys me. So I always tell you guys to figure out what works best for your face. And sometimes, like some foundations you might have to set, some foundations you might not have to. Some days maybe you're oily than others. Some people only get oily when it's that time of the month. Some people, you know what I mean? Like, it really does depend. And I would never sit here and tell somebody like, oh, don't do this, when if that's what works for them, then I want them to discover what works for them, not what works for me. You know what I mean? So now that we're all set down, we're good to go there. I am going to run off of camera real quick. I'm going to finish up the rest of my face. And when I come back on, you know this is a wear test, girl. So we're going to be checking in on some other stuff, but I got to go figure out what the hell to do with this hair because, girl, this is just a hot mess back here. All right, guys, I went ahead, I got the rest of my face on, and really the only thing that I can say about this foundation so far, okay, we know I wasn't a big fan of the coverage, right? But we love, we being me, how beautifully this is sitting on my skin. I'm actually going to zoom you in. I want you to see how smooth this looks. Like, how insanely smooth does my skin look? I'm so impressed right now. I almost never look this good. No matter when, especially it hasn't even like, okay, the Hulk, he always eats a little, we know it, but like how gorgeous. There's like no pores, there's just no nothing. And I feel like both primers are performing nicely, but I do feel like this side looks a little bit nicer underneath the foundation, but both sides so far look stunning. I don't know, you guys, I'm super excited. I'll be having like a roughly 7-ish hour wear test today. So I am really excited to give this a try, and I'll check in with you guys after a little while, see how everything wore. Bam, got this hair going on. We're still working on it. Yes, queen. And I'll just check in with you guys after a while and we'll see how it wears. But so far it looks so, so nice, and like, oh God, it's kind of dreamy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm impressed. My skin looks lit, even though it was matte before. Like, what's gonna happen? I don't know. Let's find out. Oh, God, I'm excited. Oh, I love foundation reviews. Whew, look at my hair. Bam, bam, bam. Get it. My hair's excited, too. My hair's excited for me and for you. My hair is going. I'm so weird. All right, you guys, this has been on my face for about 8 hours, and we are going to take a look. Oh, as I hit myself in the face for the win. So I haven't looked at this in a minute. It's been about 2 hours since I looked at it last. Oh, girl. Okay, so we have some definite breakage around here. The nose has all the oil. Like, be ready to fry an egg. Okay, but here's my thing. It actually, okay, it's not as bad as I've seen other foundations get, which is a plus. So how do I want to do this? I think I want to zoom you guys in. I want you to take a look at it, and then we're going to talk. Okay, so look at all the oil on my nose, first of all. Ew. Second of all, this is the main breakage, like under the nose, the mouth, chinel area, right around here. And then only a tiny bit like up here, but for the most part, like this is pretty good. The planes still look pretty decent, but not bad. Mainly right here is the issue. So here's my couple thoughts. Number one, it actually looked beautiful for the most part throughout the day. I went over in the natural light to take some selfies. You'll see that in the vlog that's coming up this coming Monday. And I was actually really impressed with how beautiful this foundation looked like in natural light. It was just beautiful, luminescent. I mean, just stunning. It did not oxidize. It stayed the exact same color, hues, and everything were gorgeous. My highlight, like somehow, even though this foundation was like a matte foundation, it had this really beautiful I don't want to call it glowy look, but it had just a beautiful way of sitting on the skin and looking very natural. It didn't look matte, it didn't look shiny, it didn't look dewy. It just looked like very natural, beautiful skin, which I loved about this foundation. So those are all really good pluses. Negatives being like, obviously, I would have had to blot several times today because, girl, this is nasty. Upside, it looked beautiful for like the first 5-6-ish hours, or I'd say 5 hours. Let's be real here, 5 hours. And that was really nice. So, I mean, pro con, pro con. Definitely had some breakage going on. Not a fan of that, not living. And I had to build and build and build to get the coverage. So I think if it were me and I were to do this again, my main concern would be adding something for a little additional coverage. Now, as far as which side worked better, I actually think I do like the Pores No More side. I feel like it has a little bit less emphasized texture up through here as opposed to this side. And that was the only other thing that I like really would say I noticed heavily with this foundation, is that as the day went on and, you know, things started to wear, my like upper cheek on both sides started to look more and more cakey, more chunky. And I honestly think that that's just honestly a basic result of the amount of the stick foundation itself that I had to cake on to really get coverage in those areas, like over my whole cheek, for example. So again, I always talk in these videos, how would I fix this? How do I try to make it better? If it were me, I would either conceal before this foundation and then go over top with it. I think that would be a really nice way to combat the coverage. And I think I would go in with one of my more intense foundations, whether it be the Dior Forever Undercover or the, I guess it's not in here, but the Catrice Liquid Camouflage is another good one. That's drugstore. So anything like that, something that has just a lot more coverage. I'm not really worried so much about it being mattified because honestly, there wasn't a ton of breakage on my nose. So I would probably try those options mixed in a couple drops here and there first. But you know, before I went in with anything else, I could also try putting down the Cover FX blotting drops before this. I will link the blotting drops video right up here. It's actually just this crazy cool little serum you can put down from Cover FX, and it's meant to control oil and smooth over the pores. So if I put this down as a primer, a lot of times it'll fill in the pores really beautifully, and then whatever I put on top of it just looks beautiful. So I could try that as well. There's quite a few options I could take here. This is definitely not a bad foundation by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know that I would recommend it for someone that has a ton that they need to cover, because I'm sorry, YSL, this is just not buildable to full coverage. Like, I built and built and built, and the only reason that these areas on my face are covered is because of a little thing I like to call Born This Way concealer. Like, let's just be honest. You guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Overall, I like the foundation. I think it wore nicely, but again, everyone is to each his own. This is how it wore for me. And don't forget to check the description box down there. I was like, what is that box called? With all the information. The description box. Go check that out. It has all my other social medias in it. I'm not gonna lie to you, mainly on Instagram and Twitter. Like, mainly those two, but I put up vlogs every Monday, and then Tuesday through Friday are all makeup related kind of content, almost always for the most part. So 5 videos a week. It's a good time here. Come check us out. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe down below, you guys. And that is it. Thank you so much for being here, and please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Ooh, YSL, YSL. Why the hell you sell this to me? No, I'm just kidding. It's really pretty. I was going for a pun on the name and I just couldn't. But God, it feels so powdery. Oh yeah, sure. Now it like kind of, see, it kind of covered up my vein a little bit there. That's not so bad. YSL. Back to the song page. You're closing out the video. Don't get so damn distracted. YSL.